LP2 – Production line for the mussel industry. The LP2 project has been designed by Talleres Aguín in order to meet the needs of the production process of the mussel industry. This piece of machinery can cope with the various functions of declumping, grading, cleaning, classifying according to size and weighing of the product, replacing all the individual pieces of equipment formerly used for each of these tasks. Mussel producers require equipment that will facilitate, simplify and economize on investment in these tasks, not only at the time of marketing the product but also in the previous stages of mussel culture, such as sowing and retubing. The LP2 fulfills these requirements as it is able to work in two different ways. Firstly, it can work directly on the retubing machine for sowing or retubing, reducing the amount of time employed in the growth process. Secondly, it can be used on the grading table for grading the mussels or in the canning process, thus guaranteeing the optimum quality of the product. By using this new design, producers will be able to maximize profitability, increasing production to 8 tons per hour, way in excess of current equipment. However, in designing this machine, maximum effort has been taken to reduce the amount of damage suffered by the mussels due to friction against metal parts of the machinery during the declumping process. The growth of the mussel depends on lobes which surround the creature's body, forming the mantle. The ends of the mantle are responsible for the growth in length of the mussel and may suffer damage during the production process, which can slow the mussel's growth to a greater or lesser degree depending on the extent of damage sustained. In order to avoid this damage, brushes with extremely soft nylon bristles are used, and as a result, the growth process is continuous even after retubing. This also avoids the problem of drainage presented by current machinery when dealing with mussels destined for consumption. The first stage of the production process involves extracting the mussels from the ropes. The basket is lowered to the seabed. Next, the ropes are aligned vertically so that, as the basket is raised, the ropes fall inside it. These are then passed through a double nylon brush which gently separates the mussels from the rope. Then the basket is positioned over the net so that when the former is opened, the mussels fall into the net to be transported on the conveyor belt. When the pressure and return hoses have been positioned, leveled and connected, the two grading grills can be put into place. The distance in millimeters between the bars of the grills is etched on the outermost strut of each. The first grill filters out waste materials, such as sand and pieces of broken shell, and the second grill separates off the smaller mussels so that they reach the end of the belt by different routes. The grills can be changed over according to the size of mussel being processed. They can be removed quite easily by pulling, as they are not screwed into place, which greatly simplifies this part of the operation. The LP2 is equipped with two nylon brushes positioned lengthwise and superimposed, which rotate in opposite directions. The lower band of brush transports the mussels towards the down chute, and the upper band, rotating in the opposite direction, holds back the clusters of mussels until they are declumped. In this manner, declumping is both gradual and complete, and the mussels are undamaged. By increasing or decreasing the distance between the two bands of brush and varying the speed at which they rotate, the degree of declumping achieved can also be varied. The distance between the two and the force exerted by the brushes is easily regulated by means of a wheel. The waste materials are emptied directly down the first chute onto a conveyor belt and into a waste bin. The smaller mussels that are separated off by the second grill are sent down a second chute. The larger mussels continue their journey along the belt and are collected through a third and final chute. These clean mussels are then carried by a second belt to a canning table or a retubing machine. This belt is split lengthwise by a central partition. One side carries the smaller mussels separated off by the second grill, and the other side carries the larger mussels from the third chute. The conveyor belts can be installed independently from each other and from either end of the machine, depending on ease of access. The canning table holds grills of the same type as those of the LP2 grading grills, and therefore must be adjusted according to the size of the mussel to be canned. This table includes a movable partition to divide it in such a way that one side of the table may be larger than the other. This division allows workers to maintain the classification of the product already carried out by the LP2. The smaller mussels are transported to one side of the division and the larger ones to the other side. As mentioned before, the LP2 can be used in conjunction with a grading table with a retubing machine. In the case of sewing the mussels, the end of the LP2's conveyor belt is positioned directly above the chute to the retubing machine. The machine is loaded with tubular net. The pressure and return hoses are connected. The tension is adjusted, the rope threaded through, and everything is ready for retubing to begin. The double hauler adds to the tension exerted and helps to avoid slippage, simultaneously achieving uniforming retubing. The first manufactured units of the LP2 have achieved great success among mussel producers. These are the latest proposals for machinery for this mussel industry from Talleres Aguín.